You muted her very quiet or something.
Murder-suicide seems wrong, because I'm pretty sure she could get a long time fine without you. She seems very capable.
In order to do that, she'd have to divorce me.
She's got 3 waffle irons. No, that's where the murder comes in. So the murder part sounds legit. That sounds great. But
I have 5 friends who I have on good authority are investigators. I don't think she could get away with it.
I hear they're adventurers.
Wow.
Not hearing a lot of backup, guys. Oh yeah, Brick, sure, we'll look into your murder if it happens. We'll find out. Nope.
What do you want me to do? Like, come on.
Yeah, honestly, what would you want me to do? What would you want me to do?
He's got the burn patterns from 3 different sizes of waffle iron.
Yeah, I'm gonna be that. I'm gonna be the goth girl from NCIS, and I'm gonna be sitting at a computer just like type enhance.
It's a waffle iron.
I don't think that's you, McDohl. I don't think you're the goth girl from NCIS. Sorry.
Who am I then?
McGee?
You're the guy from Dexter with the Hawaiian shirts.
Okay, yeah, no, you're right.
Anyway, the guy he wore the fedora and the Hawaiian shirts. That's you.
I don't fedora though. I don't really hat anymore.
You should. It goes good with a Hawaiian shirt. Anyway,
Wasn't a fedora. Whatever.
Fedora just means
It's a trilby.
a trilby.
The trilby,
You guys
you Philistine.
have a meeting at Anti-Peak in the Hive,
It's true.
and as I've said, it gets darker, but it's not the kind of darker that you would associate with midnight. It's the kind of darker that you would associate with, a fairly large formation of clouds has rolled in front of the sun. Eventually, the little dive bar that you're in, the one Lucius is gambling at, the acolyte from earlier comes in to join you. And she's wearing normal street clothes now. She's still wearing a pin on her vest. Very handsome thing that looks to be made of silver and then like maybe aquamarine. And it's still displaying the sigil of Osprey, the Barracuda iconography. Gus.
Yes.
How drunk?
I don't know. We're technically on the clock, and Alex said he was watching me to prevent me from getting too drunk.
Okay. So you can answer my question?
Maybe light buzz?
Fair enough.
He's drunk a lot, but it's been over a long period of time.
Yeah.
She finds your table. She comes over. Sits down with a lot of you. And she thanks you for meeting with her. She says, "Here we can speak more candidly."
So what can you say here that you couldn't say on the temple grounds?
She tells you that she knows where the Kodrashi fork is.
But
She wants to know if she can make use of you.
well,
Help me with something,
reasonable rates,
and I
and
can
at this
help
point,
you.
that seems to equal the Kodrashi 4.
Wait, are we just banging pots and pans, Nodal?
No, that's not
No,
me.
that's my husband doing
Ah,
dishes. I'll
I
keep
see.
myself muted.
Oh, I thought it was. I
Like,
thought we were hearing peanut. Waffle iron conversation.
Here she
Oh,
comes,
God.
the waffle iron. Look out, Brook Road.
Irons
she's
together.
throwing all my shit out onto the yard. Gonna joke about my waffle irons, are you? Don't get me started on the air fryer. Anyway.
Hey, air fryers are great.
Nope. Anyway. She tells you I have a problem, and perhaps you can appreciate what it is. I believe that the temple is being mishandled. We are stagnant. I would take control of the situation myself, take the reins and direct the temple in the direction it needs to go. But I cannot do that as long as Yashnars lives. Does Connor make that noise?
Yes.
She looks
feel
over at
like-
Connor and she says, "Perhaps I have misread the types of work that you and your company do."
Okay, let's start with what you read, and then we'll go from there. Like, just speak English, plain common. What do you want us to do? Like,
She tells you that Yashnar's is ancient, beyond words, far older than any of his kind are known to live. This great longevity comes from, she believes, his devout faith. And she says you're from a prime material world, so you can appreciate what I'm about to say next.
Okay.
Osprim is a goddess of the seas, but she is also the goddess of piracy.
Right.
She tells you that my captain is steering the ship incorrectly, and I wish to stage mutiny.
oh,
Shouldn't you have a vote?
She tells you that Yashnar's is well loved. The acolytes that work in the temple with her don't understand the glories that the goddess is capable of, because they've only ever seen this decrepit, wasting away version of it. They think that their highest calling in life is to offer a few hundred denizens of the hive a gulp of clear water every day.
what do you think you should be doing? Offering 2 gulps of water?
She asks you if that's your concern. Regardless of whatever it is that that I think I should be doing, it behooves you to help me so you get the Kodrashi fork, yes?
How do we know you have the fork?
I don't have it, but I know where it is.
So, hold on. So you think that Yashnar's is being preserved by Osprim?
I think that Yashnar's is being preserved by his faith. It's a different thing.
What's the difference?
Forgive me, I forget you have a prime material outlook on the powers. The gods would have you believe that they sustain your existence in your worlds. For example, in your temples, it is likely taught that Osprim gives the bounty of the sea, that it exists at her behest, and to anger her in some way would be to roil the anger of the seas against you. For example, if a maritime captain of a fishing vessel lapsed and forgot to give the morning's prayers, he may find his boat under attack by some sort of monster, or perhaps pirates at sea. In truth, it's the other way around. It is the belief of the people that sustain the gods. Yashnar's believes very fervently, which is why Osprim makes use of him, I assume. I hold Osprim and her temple in high regard, and I would see it expanded. But that can't happen as long as he's at the helm.
Why not just leave and make your own fortune then?
She tells you that this temple... She looks a little insulted at the question. She tells you the temple is her birthright. It should come to her.
I thought the temple belonged to Osprim.
Nothing in Sigil belongs to the powers.
It sounds then like your problem isn't Yashnar's, it's the people's belief in Yashnar's.
I'm listening.
If you were to... Osprim is a god of pirates, treasure hunters. That's what I've been led to believe from both high priests I've talked to.
She shakes her head. She's not in Sigil. In Sigil, Osprim is the goddess of a gulp of water. Nothing more.
At the moment. But what if some up-and-coming priestess were to go out, challenge the faith, claim the fork, bring it back, and present it to the temple? Surely that would show that she had the true faith of Osprey,
That
and it would
sounds.
lead the people to believe in her.
That sounds like it would be a bad deal for you, as you're the ones who are hoping to claim the fork.
Well, you don't really need the fork, you need the idea of the fork.
She shakes her head, says, "What's needed here is not radical action. What's needed here is a light touch, a surgical hand. There are 1,001 ways that Yashnars could die that would not raise any suspicion."
Connor chugs his beer.
Gus is very, very angry, and he is being very, very quiet.
Connor, not known for his subtlety.
She says, "I'm surprised. I thought at this point in the negotiation we would be shaking hands. What is there to be understood?"
Lady, listen here. I don't kill people for money or for dinner forks or whatever this thing is, and I will be incredibly disappointed. And I look around at everybody if anybody else takes this offer as well, because
Do you have a plan on going back to the High Priest without the fork?
yeah, we pay to have somebody cast a spell to remove the whatever he did to. And I just gesture at Seeker, and then we just go home.
What is it that was done? She looks over at Seeker.
I'm on a quest to find this fork.
And you see understanding cross her face.
Okay, I guess in this case it really is a quest and not a job.
And she tells Seeker, "Then it would behoove you most of all to take up my offer."
If I thought that your offer was the best way for me to get this fork,
I'll tell
I'm
you
not
what.
convinced.
I'll tell you where the fork is. And when you hear where it is, you will understand why it is impossible to take it without my assistance.
All right.
She says, "I'll even do one better. If you accept the job and it's done to satisfaction, not only will you be able to take the fork without difficulty, but I will give to you another relic of Osprey that I have hidden from Yashnars. My temple has no need of it. Perhaps yours does."
Is it a staff?
No. It is not.
Also where my mind went.
She says, "Years ago, when my mother turned her back on the temple, when she discarded Osprey, she came to understand that the relic she wielded, the Kodrashi fork, would betray her. She could no longer use it when her faith was no longer strong. However, she couldn't quite bear to pass it on to me or to Yashnars or even to the temple. She gave it to an associate of hers for safekeeping. When I say that she was unable to wield it, I mean the fork being the weapon of a power legitimately attacks those who are opposed to it in ideology. To touch it without being aligned with it. It was pain that she could not bear. So the associate she entrusted it to put it in the safest place in all of Sigil. The vault of Lord Taker. You've seen it, I think. The impenetrable palace. The gray stone cylinder with no doors. She stands, says, "Well, if we are not to work together, I wish you luck." And she turns to leave.
Sits.
And she sits back down.
Isn't your name Patience?
As she hesitates for a second, she says, "It is." Roll an insight check. Gustav.
Anybody want to use their blips on this?
No.
Because that's really low. That's like it's like less than 3.
She tells you that it is a cultural aspect of her race that when they come of age, they choose a name befitting of themselves.
Does she?
She's a
She
Tiefling.
looks Yeah, I was gonna say. I thought you described her to look more human.
Well, she does look pretty human for a Tiefling.
Yeah.
So, oh, that's right. Treble wasn't in Planescape. So, okay, so Planner Tieflings are very different from the ones in the 5e PHB. So on Trennis, all Tieflings basically look like Lucius, where they have horns and tails and stuff. In Planescape, a Tiefling can look like anything. It's essentially a mortal creature that has some infernal blood in their past, in their genealogy. And it manifests in a lot of different ways. In her, it seems to have manifested in something bizarre with her eyes that she's trying to hide with illusion magic. And this extremely pale, almost sickly-looking skin. She's also very tall, taller than most humans. So she could pass for a very bizarre-looking human if she was trying to do that, but that's not what she's going for.
Here's the problem that we're running into.
Mm-hmm.
You say that you're hiring us to make you High Priestess, and yet what you're actually hiring us to do is be murderers. We're not murderers.
You've misunderstood. I'm not hiring you to make me High Priestess. That's the title I will have to earn through hard works, given the opportunity. I am hiring you for an assassination.
Right. And unfortunately, you've not come to assassins.
And she looks back at Connor and says, "Is that it then?"
What? I just.
Perhaps you can stroll up to the manse of Lord Taker and demand an audience with him. I'm sure he will admit you as freely as Yashnar's did. Though, of
Why
course,
would we need you?
because I know how to get to the fork.
Are you going to go in and ask for the fork, or are you going to?
She waves her hand and says, "It makes no matter if we don't have a deal. If we're not working together, then I don't owe you anything."
See, here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to make it natural. Or I don't like this.
Did you guys think you were
Sounds
going to
like-
come into a little Planescape adventure and not get pulled into an impossible moral quandary?
I mean, it seems to me like time is going to do that job for you.
I thought so as well, 30 years ago.
30.
That's when I... She says that Yashnar has been old for almost as long as she's been alive. She's never known him other than as the old man who tended to her mother's temple while she was frolicking or gallivanting or lollygagging or whatever she would have you believe she was doing.
I would like to ask you a question.
She's listening.
Is Yashnar's actively preventing good works? How do I want to put this? Is Yashnar still being the head of your temple a detriment to performing good works or acts of charity or things of that nature?
She tells you that she could answer the question, but you would have to take her at her word.
That's all we got right now, so.
She tells you there's a place in the hive called the Ditch. It's one of the very, very few natural waterways in Sigil. What she means when she says natural waterways is that the headwaters of it, instead of running from like a lake or runoff or something, it flows through a portal to some other plane. In this case, the plane of water. Sigil is so dirty and such an awfully polluted place that the waters coming from the elemental plane of water flow into the city and immediately become polluted. And yet, this is the source of most of the city's natural water. It's all they have. In fact, the ditch runs so close to the city's mortuary that it is common for people to roll dead bodies aside to get at the water underneath. For a scant few years, many, many, many years ago, when her mother still tended the temple, a great tree stood in front of the temple, and they knew of an incantation that for moments could make the ditch run clear. That instead of 100 people having a gulp of water, everyone could have their fill. This was the divine touch of Osprim. This is what we're reduced to now. The spectacle you saw today.
Have you tried talking to Yashnars about this? Like, have you tried, like, asking him to step aside?
You saw the man.
She says that it is the nature of an orc to lean upon his axe for as long as he has strength to stand, in such a way that when that strength leaves him, those looking upon him would think he's standing still.
All right, so let's make sure I'm understanding a few things here. One, Acheron is an actual place you can go to, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Let's just bring Yashnars there. That sounds like where he wants to go. That sounds like it solves your problem and ours. Sounds like it gives him the death he actually wants, maybe deserves. I can't pass that sort of judgment.
She says, if
But
taking Yashnars through a portal to Acheron is your way of removing him from my path, I would consider a contract fulfilled. I don't have to know the details.
Be willing to go with us willingly if we propose that to see his last wish. That seems to me what he wants.
Well, he seems to trust you. You were the only one in the room when we met with him, right?
Well, she nods.
Why don't you tell him you had a vision? He should come with us on this quest. I'm sure it'll be dangerous enough to get an old man killed.
He trusts me, but he does not heed my wisdom.
So, what I'm hearing you want to do, so you say that, like, everybody keeps saying the powers can't do anything here in Sigil, but we have to go back home to Trennis?
She says, you don't have to. Your future is yours to make. But here and now, you've made it plain that you desire the Kodrashi Fork. I happen to know where it is, and I have other treasure to offer you besides.
Also, the power's not doing anything. Come on. We're talking about a 150-year-old orc here.
He perhaps may be older than that. I don't think anybody knows.
Yeah, I was just guessing.
So,
Orcs live to be, what, 60?
She tells you that she's never been to the Prime Material. She's not an expert on orcs, but her understanding, having lived with Yashnars for so long, is that amongst orc culture, it's not well known how long orcs can live, because to live long is a mark of shame.
I think I have an idea. You say that he doesn't heed your wisdom, but in my experience, people will believe anything you tell them to, as long as what you tell them is what they want to believe. If you can get me in touch with a wizard who I can learn some spells from, I think we can make this work for all of us. And Seeker looks over at Alex, and then says, "What if we sent Yashnar as a dream? Make it look like Osprey is sending him a dream. He could see through it if he wanted to, but if Osprey comes to him and tells him that he has served his time, and now, in order to finish his life, he needs to go to Acheron and fight for her, he's not going to look too hard at that."
It might not be that difficult because I literally just picked up Dream in my last level up.
Is that the plan?
I think we can make that work.
We'll have to figure out if we can like disguise you in your dream or whatnot. But that sounds like a good plan.
So what do you tell Patience as far as what you're agreeing to? You tell her that. Do you tell her the details of this plan, or do you just tell her that you agree to deal with Yashnars in your own way?
What can you tell me about this woman that you said appeared in his dreams?
She shakes her head and says, "Virtually nothing. It's all babblings to me. I've had dreams of no such woman."
Think we can get in there again and Seeker can take a peek around?
Make an insight check.
Is
Lucius, make an insight check.
is Yashnar's coherent enough and stable enough to understand a dream that we send him?
That's a 4.
A 4? Okay. She says that some days she finds him coherent and stable, and some days very much not.
Because I like this plan, and I want this plan to succeed.
Is his room lined with lead?
No, the temple is constructed of wood.
I think Seeker, you could probably poke around in his head without even needing to be in the room then, right?
Yeah, but if he digs too deep, doesn't he know that he's there and tries to push you out?
Gus is sitting there with his hand, with his the palms of his hands, he's just rubbing his eyes.
Not if we make that his surface thoughts, not if someone's in there talking to him about the dream.
I don't think we necessarily need to get in his head. I think what's in his head is pretty clear. We talked to the man. I think what we just need from you is enough details to make this believable that this is a message from Osprey. Can you spend some time with us? Tell us what sort of symbology a dream from Osprey might entail?
She likes the word symbology. It's a good word. She tells you that if she has any hand in crafting this dream, it's a surety that Yashnars will see it. They know each other far too well.
I see.
You have to remember, she grew up in this temple from the time she was a little girl. She's devoted her life to it. She's worked under Yashnars, taken his tutelage, and now she cares for him in his old age.
Is there another temple of Osprey or any other places where Osprey is worshipped or revered here in this city?
She shakes her head. Says temples are in short supply in Sigil.
You think I should get in a room with him, ask him about this dream he had?
No, I think anything that we do in order to reinforce the dream is going to work against us. We have to construct it on the thought that once he gets the dream, he'll be happy to have. If he brings up the dream with anyone, it's going to be you, and he nods towards Patience.
Mm-hmm.
Just back us up. Anything he tells you, say, agree that it sounds like Osprey's will.
And Patience points out that he was telling you about the dream earlier today. He'll babble to anyone who will listen.
To me, that dream sounded like he was pining about some lost love.
Perhaps he was.
Gross.
Can you tell us some more about your mother, then? Just physical description, so that Lucius can construct this dream.
She gives you the description, befitting a Tiefling woman.
Can you think of anything that she might have known that it was likely for someone else to know. I mean, you're her daughter. Any words or phrases she used to use, any beliefs she used to have.
She said, for a surety, if you were to convey to Yashnars that my mother had any beliefs whatsoever, he would know it was a ruse.
All right, I think we have enough.
She stands, holds her hand out.
Seeker stands up, shakes it.
Clasps your hand, and it's very bizarre because she's like 7 feet tall and you're like 7 inches tall.
Mm-hmm. You have to get up on the table.
Right, climb up on the chair. She says, as soon as the job is done, we'll meet again, and I will send you to your reward. You have my word. You'll take the Kadrashi fork, and I have another treasure for you as well.
All
And with
right,
that, she takes her leave of you.
Okay.
I hope this works. I hope this works.
Secret.
Well, if
I
it
don't
doesn't,
like
I'm going to raid her mind and I'm going to take everything I need.
I mean, we could probably just get away with putting a pillow over his face.
Well, I'm not killing someone, but
This is the first time I've ever employed this kind of magic on this kind of scale, so I need to know what your intentions are.
you want to do a trial run with me first?
Couldn't hurt, to be honest.
I think that you show up as this woman. It sounds like, from what his daughter said, she was relatively brusque. You tell him that he's spent enough time sitting on his ass in the temple, and that it's time for him to join her in battle on Acheron. And then we show up and we say that we had a similar dream.
Should it be
Or
this
it's our
woman, or
job
should it
to
just be
bring it.
like a angel of some sort of messenger of Osprey?
Instead of that,
Because I
well,
feel like if we go with something specific, there's more chance of getting it wrong.
I think just vague. If we're doing this, oh by God, if we're doing this, just keep it as vague as possible. No specifics. Let him fill in the blanks. Like that's what I've noticed from Seeker. Like it's
Seeker, can't you like literally ask questions of angels of Osprey? Can't you just dial one of them?
yeah.
You want me to call up an angel Osprey and ask her for some help killing her high priest?
Well,
You should
ask-
call up an angel of Osprey, and
ask-
then so that
ask
we
them
get a
what it was.
description of what an angel of Osprey looks like for this dream.
I would say with a successful religion check, since you guys have been living in Dunfoss, a successful religion check would give you all the just basic iconography you could need to successfully
roll.
design
Is that-
something to look like an angel of Osprey.
I hear she's big on barracudas.
Make that roll.
The barracuda is one of her big symbols. That's not. I don't think I make that up. I think I got that from the Greyhawk wiki back in the day.
There you go. Talking barracuda.
She likes the
Exactly.
fish.
I rolled a
You
19
need to go
on
to
religion
Acheron.
check.
You rolled a what?
I rolled a 19 on religion for that.
Yeah, it's. I mean, if you're just looking to make, like, to fill the dream with iconography to make it look like an avatar or an angel of Osprey, that's something you could do without a lot of preparation. You wouldn't need
So-
any specific information.
Real quick, guys, do you get like this? The woman that he's dreaming about, like, does your character or do you think? Because my understanding is that's a separate figure than Patience's mother.
Oh no, I was getting the sense that it was Patience's mother.
No, it's Razu,
yeah, it's Razu.
but my character doesn't.
Yeah, I know, but
Yeah,
I'm
who the
just
hell
like,
is Razu?
I know, but that was out of character. Like so, but like
In
I'm
character,
getting,
Seeker thinks it's Patience's mother.
I'm getting the sense that it's not Patience's mother because, like, she's talking about he's been old for as long as Patience is remembered, and like so he, it's even if Patience's mother was,
Gus,
yeah.
make an Arcana check.
Ah, okay. That's actually a pretty good roll. So that's 19 plus 5, so 24.
And you kind of play with this idea. You put it out there, trying to make sure that you all are thinking, because you got the different impression from what Yashnars had said as
Right.
everybody else did. You're thinking, if that's the case, if Yashnars has information about this woman who he said that he had met long before he came to Sigil, that would almost by necessity have to be information that Patience doesn't have. It would have to be something that she doesn't know about or knows about only in passing. If you could get a few more details about that person, you would be able to make an incredibly convincing dream. Because you'd be pulling on Yashnars' history and not just the religion of Osprey.
Right, yeah, because, he said that he knew her from before he came to Sigil, so it can't
Think
be
there's anyone
Patience.
else?
That's true. You're right.
Do
Do you think there's anyone else old enough to know Yashnars before he came to Sigil? Like, he's an orc, but maybe there's an elf or somebody.
There's a
Maybe
library.
you could, maybe you could ask the she asked the Angel of Osprey.
Yeah, honestly, Seeker says that sounds like an excellent question for me to be asking
An angel of
the Angel of Osprey.
Like, what was her name and what did she look like?
Hey, I want a job for your boss.
Well,
We're looking for information on this person.
So what are you casting?
Point us in the right direction.
How are you asking this?
This would be the divination spell.
I thought you had contact other plane.
I don't have contact with their plane yet.
Okay.
Wait, do I? Let me check my non-prepared spells.
So the question
That's what I
to
meant
my
when I was
mind
talking
now,
about Angel of Osprey. I thought you were literally just could dial one of them up with that.
would the divination spell function in Sigil? I don't think it would.
I think you're
We don't know
right.
that.
Because it puts you in contact with a god. Well, it says god or god's servants. I will say the divination spell, you can't contact any deity from here because you're in the one place in the multiverse they can't reach. But if you're looking to speak to one of her servants, which could mean any number of things.
giant barracuda with a halo.
It's gonna be Yashnars shows up.
Yashnar's like, hey, what do you want, man? So yeah, you can use the divination spell as worded with the understanding that you can't contact the power herself while
Yeah,
inside of Sigil.
We'll call up one of her servants.
Where are you doing this at?
Checks on that spell, Seeker?
Text them what spell?
Checks? Do you have to make any ability checks when you cast it?
No.
Okay.
I think we should do it back at the flophouse.
Okay.
Sure.
So it's gonna be another 100 coppers ahead for another night in the Flophouse.
It's also like a 2-hour walk. Is there someplace reputable but closer, like at the edge of the hive?
Who are you asking?
Our guy that we paid a platinum piece to?
He left because we had to wait hours for
Yeah,
her.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if you asked him earlier, he would say no. There's no reputable in the hive. You're better off walking back to the
Okay.
gymnasium.
Gymnasium.
I'm okay with that.
So the awkward thing about 100 is that it's half a platinum. So I'm going to buy 2 nights worth of lodgings if I can.
Okay, that's perfectly fine.
Can we all just stay in one room?
I mean, you can, but there's only one straw mat and one chamber pot in each room.
I mean, it doesn't change the breaking down the finances at all. So
These rooms are tiny. These rooms are like 6 feet by 6 feet, maybe. These are incredibly tiny rooms. There's enough space for you to go in, lay down, do your business, change your clothes. That's it. There's not even any bathing space in here. There's not a table to sit down at. There's nowhere to really to take your meals.
I'm
This
related
is-
to anything, but you should look up capsule hotels in Japan.
That's kind of what I was thinking of a little bit. Yeah,
It's not that bad.
it's not quite that,
Wait,
but
does Goodberry provide water? Like I don't need to. It's nourishment, right? It's food and drink.
I'm assuming nourishment refers both to it fills your belly and your
Okay.
hydrates you properly. All right, so we're casting divination as a
Connor,
ritual.
can I get a good berry, please?
Absolutely.
Good berries for all.
Sorry, after hearing everything about the water here, I could make water myself, but
Does
Don't
good berry
probably-
work in Sigil?
more to the point.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Gus holds up some liquor and says, "This is why you don't drink the water."
Without going into too much detail, because I know Planescape really messes with a lot of spells, but in Sigil, everything works except for spells that would move you into or out of Sigil. You can't plane shift from here, and you can't connect with a power in any way from inside of Sigil. Anything else is fair game. As long as the text of the spell doesn't say it needs access to some other plane, you're good to go.
Mm-hmm.
So
How does-
like Dimension Door wouldn't work, because I think it says you travel through, like you step through the ethereal plane or something.
How does this sound to everyone as my wording? How can I find information on the woman who Yashnars is dreaming about?
From his youth. The woman from his youth he's dreaming about.
I
Right.
like that.
Yeah.
We want to be vague in the dream, but I think when we're asking for information, we want to be as specific as possible.
Right.
Is that what we're going with?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you commune with the servant of Osbrum. A handsome and glorious emerald-skinned merman that makes Seeker feel ways about stuff. Clutching a magnificent fork of his own, riding the crest of a wave.
Writing these details down.
I should have the dragon turtle at you guys. That'd be more fun. So, go ahead and phrase the question exactly how you want to word it.
How can we find information on the woman from his youth who Yashnars is dreaming about without getting it from Yashnars? I didn't want any smart-ass Ask Yashnars responses.
You'd ask him, forehead.
Yeah.
Forehead.
The merman responds, "The golden acolyte knows, though he will not reveal it."
Golden apple. Oh.
There was a gold-skinned acolyte,
Yeah,
wasn't there?
there
With
was.
a. Okay.
Yeah, the one with the guy with the barrier earlier today.
All right. So how can we get it from him?
I mean, I don't know how literal you want to be about he will not reveal it. We could try getting him drunk or something. Like, I don't know if that... When a god says someone's not going to do something, with everything I've been told over the last few days, I'm not really sure where that falls in the how futile is it.
I mean, can you just... You can... We have several people here that can literally read minds.
So
And
the he will not reveal it portion, and Seeker responding to Alex, typically when you ask questions like these, because it's impossible for them to take into account you acting as a result of their information,
Mm-hmm.
they give you that information before any actions you take.
Okay.
So
You
if
sound
we were just to
very
go
confident in that answer.
What did you say?
That's my way of paraphrasing the spell. Brendan.
Gotcha.
I'm just trying to get through the spell to take into account any possible circumstances that might change the outcome, such as the casting of additional spells or the loss or gain of a companion, without literally saying the spell text.
Which companion are you proposing we lose?
Gustavus.
We've already lost Florian, so.
He's still with us in our hearts.
Truly the best among us.
Well, you would have loved the... I mean, he was basically a sensate, so...
Florian, no, he was a freaking signer.
Yeah, I had Florian's on this. He's a signer. That's true. That's exactly what I was about to say. Okay, so what's next?
But anyway.
Yeah, I don't think we have to go directly to reading their mind. We could try and find someone else who talks to him, or like try and get him drunk. I don't know.
How do you propose we approach the person to set this into motion, Alex? What is like?
Find out if he's wants to take in a pint. I don't know. Best way I've known to get someone to loosen their lips.
Yeah, I think we split the difference,
Gus,
and we read his mind while he's drinking.
hey,
We can
I
just
have a-
read his surface thoughts while we're having a drink with him. We won't say anything specific, but we'll get the information when he gets good and sloth.
I mean, I could ask him out for dinner if you want. Ask
Your
him out.
type?
Yeah, he's all right. Eye patch doesn't really do it for me.
That actually sounds like a really good plan. Like, I really like that plan.
I was joking. Oh my god.
What are you talking about? That's perfect. It doesn't raise suspicion.
You've got that muscly beauty that some people go for.
Look, I can buff your charisma.
Fine, whatever. Let's go. I'm in it. Like, if this fails, I think I will be on board for just smothering this old man in his sleep with a pillow.
Gus, you're blushing.
I flip Connor off and start walking, just walk out of the room, wherever we're at.
The second he walks out of the room, I say, "This is what happens when people threaten me. You all remember this."
Come back.
So-
Cast enhance ability charisma on you. Give you a cigarette before you head in there.
Do we now cut to the big Gus makeover montage?
Oh, buddy,
Disguise self.
I have disguise kit.
Now,
Oh, you just
Whenever
gonna make me look shaving a haircut.
whenever I prep social adventures like this, and I did a lot more prep work for the Planescape one than I typically do, just because I'm working in Sigil and it's a setting I really love, but try to take into account a couple of things that each of the characters, who I know these players pretty well by now, what each of them might do in each of these social encounters. I cannot tell you how far away I was from let's get him gussied up and send him on a date with the NPC. I was not prepared for you guys to turn this game into... What was that?
Dating sim?
What was that game that like Aaron Hansen kickstarted or whatever? The Hot Gay
Dream
Dad
Daddy.
Simulator.
Oh, Dream
there
Daddy?
it is.
Dream
Yeah,
Daddy.
is that what we're doing?
Oh, I was thinking it was more Gnome-eye for the Fite-guy.
Wow. Wow. Swinging for the fences, huh, Nodal?
Oh.
All right, guys. I'll talk to you later. I've got to go be anywhere else.
No, we have 20 more minutes to play.
Trapped. You're trapped.
We need you to focus.
So,
I can go late tonight too, by the way, just so you know.
oh no. See, because now I actually have to design a new social encounter. So, what are we doing? So, let me make sure I understand the plan here.
Yeah.
Gus is going to go back to the temple.
Yes.
Mhm.
He's going to approach the man with the eye patch
Yeah.
Mhm.
and say, "Yo,
Hey, sailor.
you fine? Can I get them digits?"
Oh God.
Yeah.
Okay.
Both of those responses. Just... Oh.
And then eye patch and Gus are going to go on a date
Right.
at one of Sigil's fine eateries.
No.
Showing some money will help.
All right, so I guess
I
that's the
think we
first
should.
question is, where are we sending Gus and eye patch on a date?
Yeah, I
gotta
guess
be
a
the
little
ladies'
bit more.
word, huh?
Not
Yeah.
ladies' word. We don't have 30,000 platinum.
No, but like someplace that's like 3 platinum a plate.
Keeping in mind that at this point you guys don't know what race he is. or what he likes to eat, or really anything about him other than he can say, no pushing, no shoving, 10 drops at a time, enough for all.
Listen, we'll get that information before we go.
Okay.
Basic.
So then you get him drunk,
So,
Gus.
let's say
You
then
get him talking.
one of you has to get this information before Gus approaches him. So, pick one or two of you who are going to do that, and let's get an investigation check.
Alright, Seeker's definitely going to get in on this.
Is anybody?
You want me to go because I can make cigarettes? I'll aid you.
Let me just take it.
Okay.
Okay, Seeker, give me an investigation check.
That is a 16.
16? The man's name is Paesto. Paesto lost his eye shortly after joining the temple. And so firm was his faith and adherence to the temple that he lost himself in like violent ecstasy, gouged out his own eye to offer it to the goddess Osprim. And they say that it was accepted in a flash of light from her hand. That can't possibly be true because Osprim can't accept offerings in Sigil because there's no way for her to reach into Sigil. But he seems like a very, very devout practitioner of the goddess. As such, he really likes seafood.
Nice. Is there a nice seafood place in the Clerk's Ward?
Guildhall Ward?
Sure, why not? We'll say there's.
I'm thinking like
there's
3
fish
platinum a
market.
plate.
So we're gonna send Gus and Paesto to an eatery near a fish market in the Clerk's Ward.
I do
Yeah.
feel like my dumb. I was going to suggest Lucius hit on him, and I feel like my dumb joke got away from me, and I regret all of my life decisions.
Okay.
Alright, so new question.
hmm
What does he drink and why is it rum?
Sure, that sounds good to me.
So we need to get this guy absolutely blasted on some rum. And he's a pirate, so it shouldn't be very hard. And it's Gus, so it shouldn't be very hard.
Okay, but we also need Seeker there in case this doesn't work to give the signal to read his mind.
Oh, I'm going to be reading his mind regardless.
Okay, so we're gonna have our own table next to their table.
So, question, question.
Alright, I can prepare a disguise self.
I do have a question, like mechanically, like.
I
so,
don't
like,
understand. I don't see how any of your questions could possibly be relevant. We're all deciding your date for you. It sounds like.
Yes. Like, okay. If two people that can detect thoughts do on the same person, like, does it cause interference or something?
No, I would just give the surface thoughts to both people.
Yeah. I'm just going to be getting his surface thoughts for, like, however long it takes. Once you start getting to the point where you're asking that sort of question when he's drunk,
Yep.
if he's drunk enough and he just thinks it, then great, we're all set. If he's too drunk, then I'll just detect thoughts at him anyway. What's he going to do, pass out?
So is that the entirety of the plan? Send Gus in, invite him to a fish dinner in the Clerk's Ward.
Yeah. Once he gets drunk, ask him a few probing questions, and I'll read his mind.
Okay.
Yeah, Gus is gonna be buffed with enhanced ability charisma, obviously.
Oh, obviously, of course.
And Alex and I are going to be disguised.
What am I gonna do?
What do you want to do?
You could go.
Oh,
on
if
a
you
date-
want to be disguised, I have to concentrate on the spell.
You could go on a date with Lucius.
Connor, you could be the fish.
Actually,
You know what we can do? I'm gonna be busy on the spell, but we need to research an actual gate into Archon for this plan to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to
you're
say
right.
we have several things to research, and if you and Lucius want to...
I'm totally down for that.
Let's take care of the research now, then, because
Sure.
this is going to take some work on my part. I'm not letting this go by. This is going to be the focal point of the start of the next session. This will be our, like, we're going to come into that. Treble, are you okay? Do you need to lie down or? Treble has been playing at this table for years. He ought to know if he says a dumb thing, y'all gonna run with it. He did this to himself.
Yeah. All my misery is self-inflicted, I know.
Treble.
What?
In the interest of diplomacy, if you don't want to go through with this, I will gladly volunteer Connor to do it.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
It's fine.
Just lie back and think of Dunfoss.
Oh God. All right. What research did you guys want to do? You wanted to find a portal to Acheron?
Find a portal to Acheron from Sigil.
So there is a 2 platinum charge at the Grand Library and Archives.
Sure.
What this entitles you to is 12-hour access to the public archives. The public archives mostly involves there's thousands and thousands of sensory stones, and a lot of the archives that used to have been kept in the Hall of Records. These are actually historical archives at this point because nobody is keeping records of anything these days. And the third thing is they carefully catalog portals into and out of Sigil, as well as keys for those portals.
Yeah.
So somebody's got to pay 2 platinum and then give me an investigation check. If you fail this check, what that means is you spent 12 hours searching through the library and the archives and have received
How
no
good's your
answer.
investigation, Lucius?
My investigation is +2. Can I get an aid from Connor if he's assisting me in that regard? Take advantage on this roll?
You can, but then it would be 4 platinum. Because Connor would also be paying for access to the
I'm
archives.
absolutely.
How about-
Absolutely.
How about I roll since I'm +3 and you can
Okay.
assist me, and we can pay 4 platinum.
There you go.
All right, I'll pay the platinum.
Very good.
All right.
No whammies.
Hey.
There we go. 23.
Okay. Yeah, you find details on several portals to Acheron that you feel that you can make use of with simple enough portal keys. Things like iron shavings or speaking a backwards prayer to Grumsh or some such.
With a 23, can you also get us the info we needed on our own portal?
The portal back to
Yeah.
the
Trennis.
cathedral grounds.
Yeah.
Or not the cathedral grounds, the one that in the cistern.
Yeah. The one in the water.
cistern, Yeah.
'Cause
The one in the cistern, yes. The one in the portal grounds, no.
Cistern's
The
fine.
portal grounds is the one-way portal, I thought, right?
Yeah, cistern's enough.
Okay. Yeah, it involves submerging yourself into the ditch, but it's reachable.
Yes.
Cool.
All right. How close is the portal to Acheron to?
We'll just say it's accessible and leave it at that.
Okay.
All right.
So we don't have to worry about we gotta get Yashnars to the portal, and it's
Weaken it, Bernie, them our way there.
yeah. And no, it's Green Grog Day or whatever it was.
What if you guys missed Green Grog Day by a week? Or not? Actually, they probably don't even celebrate Green Grog Day anymore.
And Lord Taker sounds like an asshole.
I know, right?
So, is there any other investigation that needs to be done before we're going to get started on Gus's big date?
like, I'm not going in my armor.
No.
No, we have to go bring you to a tailor.
Oh no!
Not again.
Because the last time it went so well.
Exactly. What information can be found just common knowledge around this area about Lord Taker?
Make me an... Well, how are you trying to get this knowledge? And how much money are you willing to put into it? In terms of paying for the information.
I'll pay another 2 platinum.
Okay, go ahead and make a charisma investigation.
That's a 7.
A 7?
What do I have for blood? Butts. Okay, never mind.
Okay. So, I mean, you hear a lot of rumors and hearsay, a lot of things that you can't possibly be true. You learn that he is an Azimar. An Azimar is a... You're a member of Tilestinus Apt. An Azimar is like a theoretical creature. The idea by your studies in Tilestinus Apt would be if there are infernal mortals in the Tieflings, people that have ancestry coming from the Hells, there must be, at least in theory, mortals with the opposite ancestry who have angels in their backgrounds. These mortals, if they exist, would be Azimar. You've never met one, and they're just kind of fairy tales, but the idea is that Lord Taker is one of these creatures, and this is the most likely the source of his longevity. That's why he's been alive so long.
Okay.
So here's what I need to do. I need to get Gus to a decent tailor to get him some good clothing.
Okay.
But I also want to see if I can't buy some silk on wholesale.
Sure. Buy as much silk as you have platinum to spend. I'm pretty sure they have prices in the PHP.
I've got a bag of holding. Yeah, it's 1 platinum piece for a square yard of silk. So I'm gonna buy 50 of those.
Okay.
Just fill this bag of holding with silk.
Is that why you made a spare one?
Yep. Lucius, when you wake up, your bag of holding is mostly filled with silk the next day.
So yeah, you have a variety of colors. All right.
How did he manage this?
Is that it?
I don't understand.
Great city.
We're ready for the big date.
Unless someone else can think of something that we should research.
Oh, how much Gus? How much are you spending on clothing? I'll cover it.
I gave you all my money. Oh wait, no.
You gave me all your money? No, I gave you back 20 platinum.
Okay, I don't know. How much do you spend on clothes? I literally just...
That information, you can buy it at cost in the PHP. There's a...
Well, the thing is Gus has no idea. He literally just wears the same pair of pants until they fall apart every day.
I mean,
Funny.
if things go well with eye patch, you never know.
Is on getting Gus something presentable.
What race is eye patch?
You guys don't know.
Question mark?
Okay.
We don't know, but Gus is into it.
All right, so I'm going to share a straw poll with my Twitch chat here. You guys can go ahead and vote for who you think should get a spare blip today. I'm going to go dark for 2 minutes while I go refresh my drink. You guys think about how we want to assign blips, and we come back next week. We have Gus's big date.
Who's the most creative today? I think we go to Gustavus for the date idea.
Yeah.
I was trying to turn that onto you. I was trying to make fun of you, and it backfired spectacularly.
All right, who furthered the party's goals most today?
All right, I'm going to go ahead and suggest myself for the idea of sending Yashnars to Archon.
I'm good with that.
Acheron.
Yeah, Acheron. All right, who's a badass today?
Let's see. I want to give that to everybody, but I can't because, like, we all basically said, "Listen, lady, we're not going to murder this old man for you."
No, Connor was absolutely down for murdering the old man.
Connor is down for murder. I'm okay with giving it to Connor for being down with murder.
I think Gus is down for murder now. I think if you asked him like what we should do, his opinion would be different.
Well, we're not doing that now, are we? And intangibles. Who's intangibles today?
Seeker for what was it? Gnome-eye for the muscle guy?
Gnome-eye for the Fite-guy.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Seeker for like Gus going like, yes, this is why you don't threaten me.
And Seeker had any number of moments today that were just intangible, so.
Gnome-eye for the Fite-guy was amazing. Good job, Nodal.
Oof.
I need to get somehow need to like squeeze out 3 more blips, so if I need to, I can auto success my obviously disastrous flirting
Hurry
skills.
to get the videos uploaded, right?
Oh, you better hope I sleep good tonight.
Yeah,
Half the reason I'm coming with you is so that I can have you an eye shot if I need you to roll well.
yeah,
Yeah, as long as our table's 30 feet away, I can give you a +5 too.
yeah.
What kind of date is that? You're sitting at a table, and there's just a really close table next to you of 2 people you know.
Nick
Oh man,
is
I'm right.
Nick is
Writing it down, I
bragging.
just did the roll.
Nick is bragging in chat about how he broke one of my Planescape dungeons with Dimension Door. So the Dimension Door spell must not mention the ethereal or astral
Nick
plane.
mentioned it. Oh, Nick's in chat. Hi, Nick.
I did some consulting with Nick before this adventure, if you can believe it.
I can imagine.
I expected that. This character has kind of Nick's fingerprints on it, I would say.
Yeah, a little bit.
So without going into too much detail, Nick gave me some basic ideas about how she would act, and then I'm like, some of that sounds okay. So let's assign some blips. My wife wants to go shopping, and she can actually go shopping because she's been vaccinated. But if she leaves, my dogs are going to start going crazy. And she's like, I don't want the dogs to go crazy while you're in there trying to stream.
Well, that's kind of her.
It's because she knows that if the dogs interrupt me during my stream, I'm going to be mad and throw out all her waffle irons.
You're
wants-
not going to throw away your waffle irons. Who are you kidding?
I think she hid them from me. Actually, I think she got rid of 2 of them because we gave a bunch of stuff. We got rid of a bunch of stuff recently. We took some stuff to the dump. We gave a bunch of stuff to her parents to sell at a garage sale. So she might have gotten rid of 2 of the waffle irons. I haven't checked.
You should go check.
I'm terrified what I might find. I might find 8 more waffle irons. Who knows? Who wants to make a case for some blips?
I'll go. Oh,
Gus,
you go ahead. Okay. Neutral good. I must be a benefactor and strive to leave things in a better state than I found it. Like, I don't think murdering an old man in his sleep would leave like the situation better off, because he doesn't seem to be doing too bad of a job. I mean, even if the temple is in kind of a holding pattern, it seems, but it also, you know, like, murder is just not the way to get ahead.
you guys better not tell this story to 10 Sales when you get home. He'll be like, so let me get this straight. Somebody offered you 2 holy relics of a goddess, and all you had to do was kill 1 orc, and you said no?
What happens in Stigl stays in Stigl.
Apparently that's the case.
Listen, we have strict client confidentiality, unless it behooves us not to follow that. But
Yes.
anyway,
You also have a crown that you are both indebted to and employed by, and you have a duty to inform your king if he asks you a question.
Indebted to? He owes us things.
We'll see.
We made him king, and we can throw him off the throne too. Damn it!
Can
He
you?
promised us a magic item and he never paid up.
Oh man, this campaign's going much different places than I thought it would. I can't wait to get back, and Connor rolls up his sleeves and marches up to the palace, hands on hips, shakes his...
Wait, which
You get
which
down
orc
here!
comes after commons? Is it back to religion again? Can we get that crazy gnome?
All right, Gus, please.
Ideal. My companions are my support structure, and I must do what I can to protect them from themselves. For my just insistence that Seeker stop messing with godlike entities, ghosts, and just let's all throw it into the plane of fire and be done with it.
Okay.
Also, Drunk Gus, my flawed Drunk Gus says hello for jokingly making the comment that has turned into the plan for next session.
Are you crying, Treble?
A little bit.
There's a single tear trickling down your face.
And I don't have the video because I did have computer issues this week.
That's too bad. I hope your computer woes are behind you.
Mostly.
Treble has more keyboards than I have waffle irons, so I think he's.
It's not. It wasn't the keyboard. That wasn't the computer issue. I'm
Lucius,
not going to go into it because nobody cares. But...
Were you next? Oh, we so don't care. Lucius, are you next?
I'll go. Yeah, I'm next.
Go.
I have my alignment, lawful neutral, take your place in society, work well for your fellow people, take care of your own. Murder is probably not the first option we should really go for, you guys. Come on.
More like a Plan C thing.
Yeah.
Murder's a fault.
Lucius for knowledge is paramount, for being on the research team, for finding the portal to Acheron, and my flaw, double or nothing, for pushing my luck and maybe getting myself on the Taker's radar, for looking into him, asking questions where he ought not.
I recall an adventure in the previous campaign where the opportunity presented itself, and you guys go, let's just go assassinate that guy. Why not? We'll just kill him. Straight up.
I don't think it was like that. I think it was Red disappeared in the middle of the night and everyone just shrugged their shoulders when he showed up dead the next day.
No, because I remember Wendy bumping into him in the dark as we both left to go assassinate him.
And also, Birdie was Birdie was with you.
Like,
Yeah, Birdie came too.
three of you independently wanted to go kill this guy.
Well, no, Birdie wanted to rob him, and then I got stopped. And I want you to know, Destil, I still to this day that single line infuriates me as a D&D player. To this day, it makes me angry every time I think about it.
The best part, though, of that whole adventure, Adrix was the only one fooled. Wow, what a coincidence that was. Well, let's go.
The guy.
Rozzy was dead for most of the corroborating information, and even she knew what happened.
So what's funny is that party had more good aligned characters than this one does. Just putting that out there. All right, who's next? Who else wants blips?
I could go.
All right, let's hear it.
Alright, chaotic good. Good is only taken from those that can afford it. Chaos is taking them for all they're worth. For when we were talking to the gnomes and one of them said I was only getting one free piece of advice, I then asked, I think, 10 different questions to get answers to. Ideals, opportunities everywhere if you can see it.
You think you got all that advice for free?
Uh-huh.
Oh, you don't know the middle bobs.
Oh, God. Opportunities everywhere if you can see it. For setting up a meeting at a tavern solely so that I wouldn't have to cast sending.
Okay.
And anybody can be fooled except for me for coming up with an elaborate ruse to get Yashnars to kill himself.
So just like I figure everything Seeker does from here on out, it's like just in case I walk into a dumb puzzle room where I got to spend 7 spell levels again.
Uh-huh.
All right, who's next?
I can go.
Alex.
I've got lawful neutral, always being willing to take the law into your own hands, but no further for not wanting to murder Yashnars, despite having, and I quote in my notes, extremely deadly poison. Flaw, I'm sure we can handle this for deciding, yeah, let's just send Gus on a date. That'll work great.
That was a flaw.
Yeah, what are you implying? This is going to work great.
Like I said, I'm sure we can handle this.
Didn't Nath also carry poisons?
I think the list is short of which of his characters doesn't carry very deadly poison.
I'm wondering if it's a trend.
You just never know when very deadly poison will be useful.
For any viewers
Destil
or anybody
D&D
watching
characters.
in the archives, I've been playing with this group mostly with these same people for like 5-6 years now. This is our 4th campaign, and a lot of tonight's adventure and next week's adventure involves their characters from previous campaigns. That's why we're enjoying this banter so much. So
To be clear, this isn't the dumbest time we've ever had, though, because I remember a scene where I was playing 3 characters.
It's true. I do remember that.
Connor, what you got for me this week?
All right, alignment, neutral good. Good acts exist beyond the realms of order and chaos. For listening to Patience and convincing himself that killing Yashnars is a good idea.
Okay.
Is apparently the only party member okay with killing Yashnars.
So while they're all on this ridiculous date, Connor's gonna sneak into the temple and press a pillow over him.
I thought about that. I genuinely thought about that.
I would
Just
be
in case it all goes pear-shaped.
And Adrix would be none the wiser. What else you got?
None the wiser. Ideals, I must warn everyone of the very real dangers of Fey and Fiends and Fey and Undead and Fey and other monsters. For thinking Gnomish skylights and general Gnomish tinkery was Fey magic.
Probably a safe bet.
Yeah, kind of same. Subtlety and diplomacy are not in my lexicon as the flaw for announcing very publicly that he's not sure how he's going to kill Yashnars.
You know what's
In the middle
really
of the
sad
tavern.
is that Yashnars was Adrix's best friend.
I actually made the comment like in the chat. It was like as we were leaving, and we saw the ice gates, and the first thing that popped in my mind is, man, I wish Adrix was here because he'd go over there, lick them, and get his tongue stuck.
Yeah, he would have done that.
Y'all like your Christmas story?
Yashnars was originally introduced into the Planescape campaign when Nick's character Riot established this temple, but then was like, I can't be here to actually run this temple, and I don't want it to get taken over by some other ocean deity. And I forget how Riot did it.
He spent blips.
That's right, spent blips. And then Yashnars just showed up like, hi, I'm a random orc that just loves Osprey. Then the following campaign, we introduced Yashnars as a young man on a pirate ship and explored how he became a follower of Osprey when like his ship sank and he woke up with his magic tattoo on his head that gave him the ability to cure wounds. And so in this campaign, we are exploring his death. Or
Question.
whatever happens now. Turn him into
Oh,
a
gotcha.
squirrel or whatever. We give 1 blip for the most creative solution to a problem this session.
We gave that to Gustavus for the date plan. Best idea he's ever had.
No protest from Gus.
This is like catching your teenage son smoking and you make him smoke the whole pack.
Listen to me. I need the blips for next time because it's gonna go horribly, horribly wrong. So I'm
Better
not gonna
analogy.
argue.
Better analogy needed.
Who furthered the party's goals the most?
That was who was that? Who did we decide? Like I lost it at intangibles. I couldn't. I lost everything else.
Didn't we?
Oh, that was me for
was
suggesting the
Alex.
plan to send
Yeah.
Yashnars to Acheron in the first place.
Yeah,
Yep.
Who was the badass?
Connor for being down for murder.
Always down for murder. Intangibles?
That was Seeker for Gnome-eye for the Fite-guy.
Oh my god. Don't reward him for that. Gus is our unanimous straw poll winner. And let me look this up here. We're level 9, yes? So our
Yes.
blips are worth 533. Alex, you have 6, so you're rolling over 3. Connor, you have 6, you're rolling over 4. Gus, you have 2 and you've earned 5. So you're rolling over at least 1. You want to come in next
Okay.
session with 6?
Yes, please. Thank you.
You
Okay.
are
Yeah,
not
Lucius.
Can I come in with 7?
No. Lucius, you have 3 and you earned 3, so you're going to come in with 6.
Yes, sir.
Seeker, you have 6 and you earned 4, all of which you're rolling over.
Okay.
That should... Alright.
I am rolling over 2 more, so I level up.
Okay. So you're
I
going
will
to come in
coming
next
in
week
with-
with 4.
That is correct.
Okay, very good. All right, I was not expecting to have to sit down and plan out a date adventure, but now I am going to do that because that's the first thought I have when I think Sigil adventure in D&D.
I feel like you say that every other week now.
It's actually very rare that I will completely dismiss a plan that I had to substitute one that you assholes invented out of whole cloth. That actually doesn't happen as often as you might think, but it's definitely happening this week.
Okay.
So we managed.
And you know what? Whatever. I will pull the curtain back. I'll even tell you guys why. I figured at some point you would use magic shenanigans to figure out how you can learn more information to impress Yashnars or convince him of something. So the clue that I gave to Seeker and said the golden acolyte, because I described one of the barriers as having golden hair. And you guys are like, no, it must be the orange acolyte with the eye patch. That's who he's talking about. Well, it is now.
For what it's worth. For what it's worth, I got your meaning.
So the whole thing with the golden-haired barrier can never happen now, and we're going with orange eye patch monster.
Yep.
All right.
I thought his skin was gold, not orange. I'm sorry.
No, orange.
Yeah, same.
Video evidence exists. That's it. You're dismissed. You all go think about what you've done.